Have you ever been startled by the darkness of your own mind? Perhaps it happens in the dead of night, or in a moment of sudden, inexplicable anger. You have a thought so cold, so envious, or so destructive that you immediately push it away, horrified that such a thing could exist inside you. We are taught from childhood to be good, to be kind, and to keep our inner monsters locked in the basement of our subconscious. We believe that these dark thoughts are defects, signs that we are broken or inherently bad. But what if we have been misinterpreting the invitation? The great psychologist Carl Jung famously said, "One does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious." This is the core mission of the shadow explorer. Your darkest thoughts are not enemies to be defeated. They are messengers from a part of you that has been neglected for too long. They are not trying to hurt you. In a strange, distorted way, they are trying to save you. Consider the story of a man named Julian. Julian was known for his extreme politeness and his inability to say no. He was the perfect friend, the perfect employee, but internally, Julian was drowning. He began to have recurring, dark fantasies of walking away from everyone he knew, of being cold and even cruel to those who asked for his help. These thoughts terrified him. He felt like a monster. He tried to use discipline to suppress them, forcing himself to be even nicer, even more helpful. But the more he repressed the shadow, the more it manifested as physical exhaustion and sudden bursts of resentment. One evening, Julian decided to stop fighting. Instead of pushing the dark thought away, he sat with it in silence. He imagined the monster in his mind and, for the first time, asked it a question. What are you trying to protect? In the stillness, the answer emerged. His dark fantasies of cruelty weren't about wanting to hurt others. They were a desperate attempt by his psyche to save his own boundaries. For years, Julian had allowed people to walk over him. He had sacrificed his own needs for the comfort of others. His shadow was screaming because it was the only part of him brave enough to demand space. The cruelty he imagined was simply a distorted version of self-preservation. His shadow was trying to save his dignity from being completely erased. This is the shadow's invitation. When you feel intense envy, your shadow might be trying to save your ambition, pointing toward a potential you have ignored. When you feel sudden rage, your shadow might be trying to save your sense of justice or your physical safety. When you feel a deep, dark desire to hide away from the world, your shadow might be trying to save your spirit from total burnout. To accept the invitation, you must practice a radical form of letting go. You must let go of the ego's need to be perfect and pure. You must accept that you are a complex being of both light and heat, both grace and grit. This is not about acting on your dark thoughts. That would be destructive. It is about Zen integration, acknowledging the thought, understanding its origin, and then choosing a healthy way to address the need it represents. If Julian had continued to ignore his shadow, it eventually would have destroyed his life through a massive breakdown. But by listening, he was able to gain control. He realized he didn't need to be cruel, he just needed to be firm. He learned to set boundaries with the strength of his shadow, but the wisdom of his conscious mind. He stopped being a nice guy and became a good man. A man who is capable of force but chooses kindness. We often fear our shadows because we think they will overwhelm us. But the shadow only becomes a monster when it is starved of attention. When you bring it into the light of your awareness, it begins to transform. It stops being a predator and starts being a guardian. This is the alchemy of the soul, turning the lead of our dark impulses into the gold of integrated strength. The next time a dark thought visits you, do not flinch. Do not judge yourself. Instead, offer it a seat. Treat it like a wounded, angry soldier returning from a war you didn't know was being fought. Ask it, what are you trying to save? What part of me is in danger? You might find that your anger is protecting your heart. You might find that your fear is protecting your dreams. You might find that your loneliness is protecting your need for authentic connection. The path to healing and true, Jiangkongan, mastery, does not lead around the shadow, but directly through it. You cannot be whole if you are missing half of yourself. Embrace the invitation. Listen to the dark. Discover the fierce, protective love that has been hiding behind your most uncomfortable thoughts. You are not your shadow, but you are not complete without it. Your darkness is not a sign of your failure. It is a map to your hidden power.